friends, you are watching the Seated Scribe, a channel where we discuss pens and writing, and I am Rudrashish Dotto. This week's pen review focuses on a company based out of Taiwan named TWSBI, which had a 50-year plus experience as an original equipment manufacturer for different global brands. Taishin Precision, as the company is called, decided to start selling under their own brand, and thus TWSBI was born. Taishin Precision has over 50 years of experience in manufacturing with plastics and metals, and today each box of a TWSBI pen carries with it the company's commitment to give power to the user to maintain, clean, and even tweak with the pen by providing small plastic wrenches, silicone grease containers, and a pen structure which stands out for easy disassembly. TWSBI's name stands for the phrase Hall of Three Cultures, or as it is called in their language, San Wei Tong in Chinese. The character Wei translates into language and culture. The phrase San Wei Tong also brings to mind the Hall of the Three Rare Treasures created by their emperor Qianlong as a memorial to the three great masterpieces of Chinese calligraphy. The initials of the phrase San Wei Tong was reversed and thus turned into TWS. The last letters BI was added with its literal meaning of writing instruments. Thus combining the two segments, we have the brand TWSBI. Today's pen for review is the TWSBI VAC 700R, a redesigned version of the vacuum filler TWSBI VAC 700. Let us now go straight to the box, the pen, and the writing. TWSBI pens usually come in boxes like these. These are cardboard boxes. There is a cushion sheet, then there is a maintenance manual specific to this particular pen VAC 700R, as you can see. Let me keep it aside, and this is the pen. This is a plastic coffin which houses the pen. Let me keep the box aside. So this is the pen. The pen is held in place at two places with these clips, and this is the pen. True to all TWSBI pens, this pen too will have its routine contents of a metallic wrench which will be used to open this section in case some cleaning is required. Then there are two rubber O-rings, as you can see, and a small plastic container of silicone grease. So these are the contents of the box. I am keeping it aside, and the bottom of the box has this typical TWSBI VAC 700R branding. So let me keep it aside and go to the pen. So TWSBI pens usually come with this logo of TWSBI. The metal band also has this TWSBI VAC 700R. Let me see if I can focus it for you. VAC 700R, Taiwan. And this is the pen. The cap is fairly flexible. It's a metallic cap. Well, it unwinds in just under 2 rotations. The nib of the pen is the typical 6 size steel Jowo nib with the TWSBI branding. I have opted for the medium, though this particular model has nib options of extra fine, fine, medium, broad and the 1.1 millimeter stub nib. So this section has a slight flare at this end. This is metallic. The gripping section is almost flat. Then there is a flare here of around 1.5 millimeters. This pen has a thickish barrel. It's see-through. There is again another step up in this metal band and the final finial at the other end. This is made of resin. As you can see, it can be and this is the vacuum system. If I can focus it for you, this rubber washer inside, it fits fairly tightly with the inner wall of the barrel, and then there is a widening of the inner wall of the barrel here, and thereby the volume pops and the ink rushes into the barrel. We will link this pen up and see how the pen works under actual writing conditions. So the body of the barrel as well as the nib section is plastic. It's a shiny plastic at that, a very high quality one, and there are metal bands here and at this particular end. The feed of this pen is plastic, as I can see, and the nib is a 6-sized medium Jowo nib. Now let me ink this pen up and see how the pen performs under writing conditions. For today's inking, I will be using the Sehi Fractal Blue. This is a slightly deeper variant of blue. Let me pull this section up and dip this in. Once it is dipped, I am pushing the plunger down. Yes. A vacuum is created. It's a partial vacuum, and ink has flown in. So now that the pen is inked, we will have a writing sample. My first writing sample would be on a 100 GSM sheet. Well, the gripping section is fairly thin compared to the thick barrel. Well, the nib is on the wetter side. The nib is on the wetter side. The upstrokes are equally wet, and so are the slant strokes. So this is a wet pen. this is a wet pen, and I'm sure this will bleed through the 60 GSM sheets with which we usually write under everyday writing conditions. Yes, it is significantly wet. The medium nib is a wet pen. So if you desire, you can opt for the medium version, the finer version or the extra fine version, which may just be a bit more drier than this medium sized Jowo 6 sized nib. Now let me turn the page and see. Yes, it has bled through the paper significantly. So this cannot be used under actual writing conditions in ordinary sheets of paper that we usually encounter under normal writing or under normal scripts use. So this is it. It's a fairly wet pen, and yes, as we can see, the fins of the feed, they are dense with ink. So the ink supply from this chamber through the writing unit down to the feed is on the liberal side, which makes this pen significantly wet to write even under ordinary writing circumstances. So, but the nib is very smooth, it's slightly flexible, and it has that slight hint of a feedback which gives us that satisfying feeling that we are using a fountain pen. Now another interesting aspect, as I see in this pen, is that the cap has an inner plastic cover which seals the nib unit and makes it airtight, thereby preventing the drying of the ink in the nib section, and the pen is primed to write at the first touch with the paper. So this is something which is unique to some Japanese pen brands and TWSBI, the inner plastic cover which seals off the nib. So this is one aspect of TWSBI which makes this pen user friendly. So all in all, this is a pen which users who have a weakness for vac fillers or vacuum fillers would love to enjoy. The nib is on the a bit more on the flexible side. The finial has that characteristic TWSBI emblem under glass, and this section is the plastic section which is used to create vacuum and fill up the ink. So all in all, this pen is a redesigned version of the VAC 700 and hence is termed VAC 700R. It's slightly more user friendly compared to the VAC 700 and is possibly one of the most popular TWSBI brands across the world. So the writing sample that we have seen and my experience with the pen is an experience which like most VAC fillers of the higher end versions both Japanese VAC fillers and German VAC fillers, TWSBI stands out as a pen company that is user friendly, that has that typical care for the user in terms of making the pens easily disassemblable, and therefore gives users that extra power to own, re-engineer and tinker with the pen according to individual tastes. So that's all I have time for this week. Next week we will be back with another pen and another review. Thank you.